Yo, what is up, guys? Back at it again with another video. Sitting back in the seat, about to watch locals. Oh, I haven't done this for like, I don't know, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. Very exciting. Actually, I didn't realize how excited I was to actually start going over matches again and play locals again until I actually did it. And now I'm like, oh yeah, now I just got a whole week's worth of like stuff I get to record, and it just starts to get the mind working. And I like being able to watch these matches and sit here and like just take a step back. I don't know why. I mean, personally, this stuff always hits a lot harder than DB. You know, looking over DB matches is like cool, but I don't like it too much because I just like seeing the physical cards and just like the pretty play mats and whatnot. I mean, that's the vibe I'm always looking for. And DB is great, and it's definitely better for analyzing. But like this is really cool too. So yeah, we are playing. Pure water, so no deep sea king build. It's a 44 card list, which is really gross, and in a pure variant. And the 42nd to 44th card is they're Kaijus. So we're trying Kaijus out today, and I didn't really replace any non-engine. I just kind of threw them in on top what was already there. So yeah. And then so what we're doing today is we're playing against Yubel Fiendsmith. And yeah, we'll just get into it. I guess some other unfortunate note was there's only 4 rounds. In the first round, I got a bye, so that was unfortunate. So I only had 3 rounds. This round is a little short. It doesn't have like the craziest amount of like interactions and like game states we can look at and analyze. But the next 2 rounds are really interesting. I think they'll be really cool to go over. I have not watched them back yet, but I'm pretty sure they were both like game 3, super intense, bunch of interaction. Really cool. So yeah, let's just start diving in. So like I said, we're playing against Fiendsmith Yubel here, which I went from playing 0 amount of times to I played it for the first time at the regional, and then since then I think I played it like 2 or 3 times now, mostly because it got picked up the deck. Our opening hand here was Infantry, Sidra, Squad, Nib, and Prince. So pretty strong opener. So we at least have like the Nib for going second if we were to. So we have 1 hand trap plus like a really strong opener of like Sidra Squad or Sidra Infantry. So this is a really good setup here. We just start with a normal Prince, using the Sidra and saving the Sidra and Squad as an extender. And so yeah, we see the hand here. We just go straight to the minstrel line. And we snipe the Nib. Can't just have Nib versus water, so we love that. Yeah, so our Pike here is going to grab a Shrine, and then Dragoon's is going to grab Moulin. Now what we're doing here actually is we're using Shrine effect to tribute the Prince to summon Teus from our deck, rather than like adding Sidra or adding Teus, because I don't need the search off the Teus, and I really would rather just not spend an extra card or discard to summon to the field that way. So I just summoned Teus from the deck. Plus I already have Sidra in my hand, so I don't need to summon a second Sidra to the field. You want to keep those in your deck. You want to be able to I like having the 3 Sidras stay in the deck as long as possible, because it basically just like promises you that every single turn you'll have at least one type of disruption, board breaker, body presence. And so the sooner you start sending out all your Sidras, you lose out on that. So here we're just kind of going standard pure line. We did do the Moulins, and now we use our Teus and our Bahamut to make the Coral summon Squad discard, and now we get to our tri play. So and so even without the Deep Sea King variant, you can still very easily get to double toad. I think this was going to be double toad. I don't know if it would be Gaios. I don't think this was going to be Gaios. He calls it here. I think what I think I was actually going for double toad chinning. Pretty sure I was going to I would have had, let's see here, I discarded a water, and I was playing the Abyss Sting Triana, so I would have added Triana. That would have been my 4 I needed for my Dragoons to make another Bahamut Toad, and then my 3 level 3s I would have summoned back. 2 of them, the non-tuner, would have been used for Levy to add back, and then I would have used and then I could have sent the Levy or Bahamut to summon Sidra for my hand, and then synchro the Sidra off with the Minstrel to make a chinning. So that was the end board I was going for there, was double toad chinning with Levy rotation made as well. And I'll have Triana live to recycle my graveyard. I played Triana. I'm playing Triana right now because I think Triana is a little bit more. So I actually don't think you need it in the pure variant, but I think it can help. And but the main reasoning is if I have to play one Poseidra in the extra deck, then I think the Triana is a lot more important when going first, because you're almost always guaranteeing to use that Poseidra effect, or summoning Poseidra in general and then sending it to summon 3 bodies back. You're almost guaranteed to be doing that when you go first, because you don't have the Deep Sea King to kind of get the monster spam you need to make like your full body, your full board presence. So by playing Triana, you basically allows you to be able to recycle the XYZ Poseidra, as well as like Trite, other cold cards too, like Dragoons, which definitely can't come up. And it did come up. It definitely came up because I went to play through a few grind games today. Something else I seemed to notice was it honestly feels like Pure Water seems to have a little bit better of a grind game than the Deep Sea King variant does. It's just the Deep Sea King variant plays a little bit more. It's a little bit more glass cannon, and it's a little bit more, you either win or lose on the spot, just because you have to kind of put a lot of resources into committing to the Deep Sea King line. It's like it doesn't feel like you're putting a lot of resources into it, but the difference with Deep Sea King variant I notice is that you really do have to structure your line in a way to where you're focused on summoning Deep Sea King, and in the pure variant, you kind of can just like throw your extenders and throw your starters like out willy nilly. Like you really like it. Well, in terms of you can throw out all your extenders, and just like the preferred way to break your opponent's board without having to worrying about to save last actions as Shrine and Deep Sea King and having a discard live. Like your deck can play a little bit more fluidly and a little bit more free. So backing up just a little bit, game 2 here. We opened, I think this was a double squad. I think it was double squad, Prince, Sidra, Teus, something along those lines. Then I drew a Kaiju off my first Pulio normal summon. So we're playing Kaijus in the deck. What's up with that? Well, I think the Kaijus are pretty interesting cards that I've been meaning to test for a while. There's a few cards I want to be able to test, like Tronus as well. Is another one I did not test for this event, but I do want to, and I do mean to. Eventually I will. Just trying to find space. The side deck and the non-engine is tight for this deck. So he's going Yubel combo. I don't really have any cards to stop him right now, and I think he messed up along the way, so he ended on a somewhat suboptimal board, but it was still fairly strong. But yeah, the Kaiju's pretty interesting cards. They're 1-for-1 trades, and what are the reasoning for playing the Kaijus in the first place was I look at it as, so on DB I've been noticing that when someone dwellers me, they'll actually hold the dweller and they'll wait until I start playing to play around imperm. And so the fact that people are starting to play around imperm with dweller means that they're not always in a draw phase the dweller, which means you can Kaiju it. And then there's also like cards like Detonator, which you can technically tribute over, and if it doesn't have Eclipse, awesome. It does have Eclipse, at least you like cleared it already, because honestly it's not even that bad, because if you can clear a Detonator with a Kaiju and then they use Eclipse summon it back, well, now your Poseidra will actually do something when you target to send it. So I still think that's pretty strong too. And then one of the other main reasons I'm playing Kaiju is because I think the trade's pretty fair into the Blue Eyes deck, because you can tribute the Blue Eye Spirit, and then so they basically lose out on 2 interruptions. They lose out on the Graveyard Negation effect. They lose out on the Omni Negate they would have had by tributing it off to summon the big Blue Eyes, and they also lose out on the potential protection of you destroying their True Light. So now when you tribute their Spirit, then your infantry becomes a lot more alive when targeting the True Light, because they can't protect it. So I do like that. And then as well as there's like other interesting scenarios. Also, like you're hitting Caesar, which is cool. And the other instances I was looking at for the Kaiju was like, I don't know how good it is against Malice, if at all. But the idea was like, okay, at least if you tribute off like, the Cryptor or whatever, then they have to maybe waste their traps to summon it back, which they maybe would have wanted to use on like the White Bunny. I don't know what it's called. The one that like sets a trap from their deck on summon, so or a White Finder. So now they have to pick between which mouse card they want to use, where before maybe they could have just I guess it's actually a little awkward, because they go like White Finder, and White Finder could like banish the Cryptor from grave after trading it, and then they can go Cryptor effect, summon it back. So maybe that's not great, but I haven't tested them against Malice yet. and I also don't think it's that great against the Griffin lock, so maybe I really don't know about that card yet. Still working on it, but it seemed interesting. So yeah, this is the end board he makes. The only thing I think he was missing here was, I think he was missing the what's it called? He was missing the rank 10, the Omni. There's a rank 10 that's like an Omni negate and a pop. He wasn't able to set that up. I'm sure he could have, and I'm curious to know how this game would have played out if he did, but I'm pretty sure the rest of his board is, it was double Valor in hand, plus Yubel, and then yeah, the Caesar, and then Imperm set. So, and then my hand is somewhere along the lines of, I think, like double squad, Teus, Sidra, Prince, 1-for-1, and I think I drew an Impulse like for turn. My first thought is the Impulse is going to be perfect for dealing with any Nibiru. So the fact that we know we don't have to worry about Nibiru this turn is really strong. Clearing the Caesar with the Kaiju is also very huge. It just saves us a lot of like card economy here, because now we're not having to like play through a bunch of like Caesar negates or waste like a Prince on like an infantry send or something. So now we're just doing an infantry line. I'm just put on to see like what he might have. The only real card that the Prince would lose to here would be a Solemn, like a Solemn Judgment. Really, if it's not Judgment, then it's all fine. So here he's asking like what can Prince search. He's debating if he wants to Yubel this. I told him it's any Atlantean, and I mean, there's nothing really he can do about this, because Prince is just such a crazy card, because he's basically trying to stop me from getting Poseidra here. Oh, and I did not have Poseidra in hand because I'm searching it here. Yeah, he's basically trying to stop me from getting Poseidra, which I understand, because that Poseidra is a crazy card. But the Dragoons gets it anyway, so it like almost doesn't matter. But that's just how it works with like soft negates and soft hand traps versus this deck. There's a game where I think I got double I was going first against Fiendsmith, and I'm pretty sure I got hand trapped 3 times, and I got double charming, and we still took that one. Just because the way this deck plays with soft hand traps is so sick. So we do go Poseidra here, and we send squad to do it. We search the Poseidra off the Dragoons, we sent off the Prince, and so now on summon. Oh, and also real quick, I do have a Prince in hand, I think, but I used 1-for-1 sending squad to summon my Prince from deck. The reason I started with this line over anything else was because all I wanted to do is bait and Ash. Because I had the Charmy, I was able to get to, I think, 7 cards in hand, so my card economy is really strong right now. And with that being said, I definitely felt like it was safe to shotgun a card like 1-for-1 squad, because by shotgunning this, you're not losing to a card like Droll outright, as well as like it just baits a free Ash Blossom if he has it. He didn't have it, so if they don't have it, then it's just free, and then you have a free normal summon available later in your turn, and that's just Prince access. We're also, and so if he did play that Omni Negate guy, if he did make that Omni Negate, then he probably just would have Omni Negated the 1-for-1, and nothing really would have changed anyways. So even if he made the full board, I don't even think it mattered. But yeah, so our Poseidra sent squad to summon itself, and then we're setting Dragoons off the cost. So, and then on summon, or then, okay, yeah, so the new chain link, Pike, squad resolves summoning Pike, and then new chain link, it's Pike, chain link 1, discard Prince, chain link, chain link 1, Dragoons, chain link 2, Pike, discard Prince. Holy, that's a little bit of a word salad. But yeah, so now our Prince will get back Dragoons, and so obviously the next line we're just going for is so here I was debating, because I know he has Lacrima engraved, because he did go through the Fiendsmith cards. Now, funny enough, he's actually playing Patrick Hoban's list, which, hey, goated. You know what? Honestly, if I was picking up Yubel, I'd be playing Hoban's list too. But Hoban's list does not play Paradise. Now, I don't know the reasoning for that. I know Yubel plays a handful of bricks, and so maybe you can't just play Paradise. Hard to say, but you know, you would think you would main it, or at least maybe side it when you go first. But this list does not play it. Maybe I guess the Fiendsmith cards are a little bit stronger as actual extenders for the deck rather than their own engine, so maybe you don't need it. But yeah, he does not have Paradise. So I was checking for the Paradise or for the Lacrima there, noticing he hadn't summoned it yet, and I decided that, well, I think if he wants to Paradise me, well, like, he wasn't Paradising me on the Bahamut. So by this point, the Paradise rotation play for Desiree would have been too late, so I felt it was fine to go in Bahamut anyways. But he ends up just imperming the Bahamut, which once again is fine. I think at this point, I know the last, yeah, he also veilered my Pike. So he's Valored by Pike. All of this to stop Shrine, by the way, which is actually pretty strong. Now I also have the Taste as well, which gets me to that Shrine finally. But he Valored my Pike, he Valored my Poseidra, he Impermed, and then he Impermed my Bahamut. So now he's down to 1 card in hand. I do not know what it is, but I know I have Impulse for Nib, and Nib is the only other hand trap that could possibly like really matter here. Now, like, sure, a Ghost Ogre would be brutal. Like a Ghost Ogre would hurt, sure, but I don't think it would matter enough between the Impulse and then me having just enough cards where I'd probably still be able to play anyways. Not too worried about it. So our Teus should have searched Shrine here, and yeah, now we're just using the Teus and Sidra to summon Trite summon back Dragoons, and now I get to make Poseidra, and Poseidra puts the Yubel and the Kaiju back in our hand. Now we did leave the field spell on the field for 2 reasons. One, we don't have him to be able to activate it again, but 2, because I want to keep a card in his field so that way I can impulse his impulse his Nibiru. Now, but then we get to this point where we've officially, you know, gotten ourselves a totally awesome, and so by now, keeping the field spell on the field is no longer like really important. So I think eventually I'm just like, as I have to discard waters to even play my deck, I do discard an infantry and hit the field spell. Now, hindsight, I actually wish I didn't do that. I definitely just didn't need to. This was a misplay because another card that I ended up not playing around correctly was the Lacrima Engrave, because I popped the field spell, and then yeah, well, and you'll see how it happened. So maybe it didn't matter. So I think I actually had made a misplay. Oh yeah, I sided out the Triana, which was which you're going second, of course you're siding it out. I just forgotten I'd done that. So with that in mind, I probably wouldn't have summoned the infantry. I probably also don't even remember the fact that I still have a normal summon available. So I actually have 2 normals here, and I don't think I actually realized that watching back on this now. But yeah, so we add the levy, the Teus back off the levy, and then we use our Shrine to summon Poseidra from our deck, and then infantry will pop the field spell, and then I summon Teus by discarding a Kaiju. And yeah, so at this, and then because I'm thinking, okay, if he somehow stops me, I can make the Gaios. I can make a Gaios and Alacia plus Toad, so I'm fine. And then this is where he goes Lacrima, and I would have 100% impulse this, but I did pop the field spell. So I do wish I didn't do that, because you know he'll summon Lacrima from grave, and I can't impulse that, and then you know. Or he would summon, he would summon Requiem from grave by shuffling back Lacrima. And I would never be able to like truly interact with that the way I want to. Now it was fine. It didn't matter. But that was just a weird line that you should be looking for. You should try and keep a card in their field if you're playing with the Fiendsmith cards, because all the Fiendsmith cards, all the cards you wanna stop, and then all the cards that trigger all happen in the graveyard, so they have no other field, and you can't impulse it. So, you know, a little awkward there, but yeah, overall it was a good match. It was a pretty clean game on our end. The stars were aligning for sure. The Kaijus were pretty cool. I was pretty nervous about playing the Kaijus because, you know, this is not a pretty standard card that the deck does play, and you know, I just don't want to, and it's another card that's not a hand trap, and so and I main 3 droplets, and I was maining 3 Kaijus in this list. So just with the amount of board breaker cards I had in the main deck, I was a little worried about, you know, my opponent full comboing and me not being able to do anything about it. And then playing Yubel, you know, as like the first round, it was like, okay, well, I guess we're being tested on a deck that can full combo, and we'll see how that goes. Now, he could have made the Omni-Negate as well. I do not think it would have mattered. I think I would have Kaiju the Caesar, and I think I would have activated 1-for-1, and he probably would have negated it with the Omni-Negate guy. And then from there, it probably would have played out the almost exact same. I had a Prince in my hand anyways, so I would have normaled that, and then we would continue on as normal. So yeah, not too worried about that. But good games. I'm really happy to be sitting in the seat again, you know, looking at these matches. My next 2 matches are very exciting. I think so. They're super long grinders. Like, I think they're grinders as in they're like turn 5s, which is pretty crazy. Maybe even longer than turn 5. They were definitely long matches. But yeah, Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out the Discord, subscribe, and check out for the next video coming out tomorrow. And then let's see, maybe like Thursday, because I only have 3 rounds recorded. Thursday, I'll drop the deck profile for what I was playing here, and then with some of the changes I want to make. I think I want to look at the matches before I actually do my profile, because when we go over these matches together, I get a better insight about how some of my cards did. So I'd rather take the time to look at the matches first, analyze, like how the game goes, how my cards did, and then do the deck profile, so I have better opinions on some of my card choices. But yeah, that'll do it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.